Hi, Bally. How are you?
I'm good, Fatima. How are you?
I'm very good. Very good for speaking to you.
Oh,
I watched the film and I absolutely love you in it and
oh,
love the film. I
thank you.
call it a weighty tearjerker. It was brilliant. Definitely a fantastic tribute to the NHS. Now, what a star cast and two exceptional women as well, Jennifer Saunders, Dame Judi Dench.
hmm
What was the first day on set like for you with all these people working with you?
You know what? I was so nervous, to be honest. I just remember being really nervous, and I had to have a conversation with myself just to be like, you know what? Stop being so nervous and enjoy it. Just enjoy it. But honestly, they made me feel so welcome. I just felt really at home, and because of COVID restrictions, I couldn't be in the room. We couldn't all be in the room at the same time. So we wanted to do a read through of the film. And so we'd have to get, I'd start, and then we'd have like Jennifer, me, and then Jennifer would have to get out, then Judy would have to come in, and then I remember being squished between, I think it was Judi Dench and Dame Judi Dench and Sir Derek Jacobi, and I just went, what is happening here? Like, I always felt very fortunate, very blessed to be in that room, and very grateful, to be honest.
I can imagine. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic actors to be working with in your first feature film as well. So I think naturally for me, the question is, how did you prepare for this? Did you like rehearse extensively to be able to match up to the likes of Dame Judi Dench and Jennifer Saunders?
Yeah, we had. Well, you know what? I think you have your initial sort of preparation. So I would research how to be a doctor. All of those things. Spoke to specialists, spoke to doctors, I did all of that research, and then you kind of get into the room, and then you have to kind of forget all that stuff because you just have the actors and the director and the writer, and you kind of having to and it was really good actually because we had a lot of rehearsal. Because it did very much feel like a theatre. A lot of these guys are from theatre, so, and myself included.
Like yourself.
Yeah, and so it just felt like a theatre group. We all just rocked up without the cameras, rehearsed it a couple of times. We had at least about 2 or 3 rehearsals before we'd get out and shoot anything or film anything. So it very much felt very collaborative and very ensemble, and I felt very comfortable. By the time we were filming things, I felt like, okay, we know what we're doing, we know what the beats are and the intentions of everything. So I didn't feel as nervous. Still nervous, but not as nervous.
So little room for being starstruck then, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, starstruck on one side, but compliments on the other side. I mean, we watched Judi Dench, launch on the Graham Norton show, the initial trailer, and she talks about her character, and she says she plays Mary Moss, who sort of fancies her doctor, and then she adds, which wasn't a difficult thing to do with an actor like Bally. How does that make you feel?
Oh no, you know what? I pitched Judy a project that it was a romantic love story between me and her, or the next James Bond, and it's she's M, and it's
yeah,
a version of like I'm 002, and we can make this happen. I pitched it. It's all in Judy's court. But you know what? I feel so honored and blessed, and she's so wonderful. Like she's the night. Everyone has a good thing to say about her, and there's something to that because she's honestly so grounded, so down to earth. You kind of forget that she is Dame Judi Dench. She just makes you feel, and she's so funny as well, so like charming and very cheeky and mischievous, and she's just incredible, and I've got nothing but good things to say about her. She's very thoughtful as well.
Wow, some amazing memories for you there for sure. Now, obviously, the film's been spoken about as a tribute to the NHS, and there are some real tearjerker moments in the film. I mean, I remember this particular scene where you're pointing out the hospital bed, and you describe it as not just a piece of furniture. And for me, that's sort of left a lump in my throat. Did you find yourself also getting really emotional while filming some of these scenes? Because obviously it is part of our reality, isn't it, here in the UK?
For sure, yeah. There was so many, especially the one at the end. That scene that you were speaking about in terms of, because the argument is people over money, really, isn't it? Like, well, we can't afford it, but you're going, well, it's someone's life, isn't it? It is someone's life, and whether they're at the end of their life or in the middle of their life, it's still someone's life. And what do you choose? And that's the ultimate thing. And it's we lost my grandmother at the beginning of this year, and I've never been a part of something or filmed something where I filmed the experience and then I lived through the experience afterwards of care and looking after someone, and it's still something that I'm like processing now, but it's something that I've found a bigger appreciation for, like your parents and your grandparents and your loved ones. You don't know what's going to happen next. Nothing is ever planned or destined, so you should really go out and enjoy them and live in the moment and ring them up and call them. We had someone else talking to me in an interview after watching the film. He rang his grandma up, and I was like, do that. I was like, go and do that. Go and spend as much time. You don't know what the future holds. So it made me appreciate that side of it, doing this film and then have lived experience through it. So yeah.
Fantastic. And you've got a really sort of powerful role in this film. Dr. Valentine sort of holds the whole, all the characters together. He's the common thread between everybody, really, the patients to the staff members, and everything, in terms of the film. How does it feel for you now that the film's ready for release and you're sort of seen as the one of the main leads of the role carrying this film, with such an ensemble star cast? How does that make you feel right now?
Incredible. I think it's amazing. I think very, very, I feel just very grateful. I feel very blessed and very for the opportunity for it to happen. I don't think it's quite sank in yet. I think it's because I've lived with it for a bit. So we've lived with it for a year and a half. So I think I'm looking forward to people seeing it, actually, because I've been able to watch it a couple of times, with festivals and family. But I just can't wait for the sort of the mass public to kind of watch it and see what they take away from it, actually. Yeah, I still pinch myself every day.
I mean, you mentioned family there. Speaking of family, I was looking at your Instagram, and there's really nice posts that you've done of a leaflet of the film Allelujah, and you said that this is for your parents' scrapbook. And I just found that really cute, and I thought, Beta, you've definitely made it now.
Yeah.
So what's the vibe like with family and friends? How are they taking all of this and your newfound stardom?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I absolutely have no idea. I think they're very proud. I think they're very, very proud, and they've always been supportive of me, to be honest. My mum, we didn't know if it was going to happen, and then sort of seeing sort of the shows, coming to my shows, the theatre ones, the TV ones, the film ones. But they're immensely proud, and they have the scrapbook, they have the posters, they have it all in their house. They've collected every little bit. They'll try and record all the interviews, and so I said, look, don't worry about it, it's fine, don't worry about it. But I had a very supportive family that I love them very much, because this wouldn't have happened without them. Like, it really wouldn't have happened without them. So this success, my success, is their success, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's cute. Speaking of, and obviously it's pride for them, but it's pride for people like us as well, because obviously we still, even now, even though there's quite a lot more British Asian actors that we see now on screen, on film, we still get really excited. I was really excited when I was told that, you're going to go watch this film and, there's a British Asian actor who's one of the leads in the film. And I'm still like, wow, this is great. Really excited. I really want to see what his role is going to be about. And also you sort of go in pining for that one brown face to, really have a really impactful role, not to be caricatured and stereotyped. Even though it was slightly, but I still feel it was still different, was your role, and it was still very, very powerful and very, very important. I mean, how important do you feel, how do you feel about you're being able to represent British Asian actors on the screen, and to be able to be given a space with such incredible actors, and now to be able to talk about the film and also see the future for yourself in this industry that's not normally given chances to people from our communities.
It's you know what, it's a battle every single day, trying to push and trying to be in those main parts. And whenever you see a South Asian British person in a part that's in a main role, the battles that they probably had to get there is so tough, because don't get me wrong, there are writers and there are directors and there are actors. We're all out here. There are loads of us. It's just about getting the door, the gatekeepers to make those choices, because they're still far behind. I think we're all here, but they need to make the decision so that we can have another South Asian person in the main roles, to have South Asian people write the roles, to direct the roles, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. And I'm just proud to be part of the wave. I think we've had waves of it. Do you know what I mean? We had the Bend It Like Beckhams, we've had the East is East, we have and what we want to do now is we want to tell these stories, but tell them from a South Asian, British South Asian perspective, and for them to be experimental and different, and they're not stereotypical. And I mean, I think that's where the promised land is where we can just tell a story and we happen to be South Asian, rather than it's solely focused on being South Asian. That's potentially, I think, where we need to be at. But I don't know how far away we are from that. But I love it. We're all scratching at it, aren't we? We're all scratching at it, and we're all going to get eventually. A bunch of us get through. So fingers crossed. That can happen for me and a bunch of my peers.
Brilliant. Well, I think the change is definitely happening, and I think we're all ready for Dr. Valentine. Thank you so much for speaking to us, and all the best for the film.